Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another unboxing video of the Historic Autograph Company's Washington Chronicles from 2022. I've learned a lot about this company over the last few months, and I've partnered with the Historic Autograph Company as an affiliate. So if you're interested in purchasing any of these cards or collecting any of these really beautiful pieces of art and historic artifacts, whenever you check out, make sure you use offer code Brady for 10% off. That's offer code Brady, B-R-A-D-Y. So Historic Autograph Company is a really neat organization, and they really kind of took me behind the scenes and showed me a lot of what they do with this company. They make really wonderful, beautiful artistic representations of historical events. As you can see, really quality packaging. And they include exclusive chase cards from documents handled by many of the founding fathers themselves. And these are documents that aren't necessarily in the best shape. These are documents that are, likely on their way to falling apart or being lost or destroyed. And they do save them, they preserve them in the form of these cards. So let's go ahead and open a few packets of the Washington Chronicles and see what we have inside. Again, if you're interested in purchasing these, use offer code Brady for 10% off, B-R-A-D-Y. All right, so here again, very famous painting of George Washington, glossy, perfect. You can see the light dancing there. George Washington's peanut soup, one of his favorites meals, certainly at Mount Vernon. Very common amongst the enslaved community at Mount Vernon as well. Peanuts being a West African food, peanut soup being a West African recipe, just really an important part of the colonial American society. Thomas Jefferson, nice sketch of him. Again, classic battle scenes. Here we have the Battle of Harlem Heights from the American Revolution. General Charles Cornwallis, of course, in the latter part of the American Revolution, 1781 and 1782, we see Cornwallis becoming front and center in the British effort in North America. Nice card there. Federalist Papers, an original scan of a document. Here we have a card that I get really excited about. This is Kentucky. Really in the 1780s and 1790s, and Kentucky was one of those places where many powerful people were interested in investing and sending their money and resources. The Treaty of Greenville, very notable, ending what we'll call Northwest War, really stretching from the 1780s through 1794. Very famous scene, very famous painting taking place near what is today Toledo, Ohio, there in Western Ohio. Here we have some parts of Washington's speeches and this really cool foil card, horseback riding card. Just well done. For anyone who does trade in trading cards, you know the value of a foil card. This is a 1 out of 199. So we'll call that a big find for this first pack. And here we go, pack number 2. All right, the George Washington House in Barbados. Oh man, George Washington, the only time he ever left the continental United States was to visit Barbados with his very sick brother Lawrence in 1748 and 1749 is the most of that journey. Washington will spend several months in Barbados. He'll actually contract smallpox when he's there. I think it was smallpox. Whatever the case, it scarred his face forever, and it rendered him sterile the rest of his life. He would never have children, but this is the home he stayed in Barbados, one of the really important places that gets not enough attention, in my opinion, from the colonial world. Whiskey cake, classic 18th century recipe, really creative use of images here. Timothy Pickering, one of Washington's chief diplomats during his presidency, really instrumental in opening the West, opening the Mississippi River for trade with the Spanish. Here we have some more revolutionary imagery, the Battle of Kips Bay. Of course, the Siege of Yorktown. Very popular, very famous scene. I love the way they use these readily available public paintings. They spruce them up, they bring them to life. A great educational resource here. Here's President Washington being sworn in on the Bible in New York City, his inauguration. Here we have the first presidential veto. Nice use of a primary document, of course, just a scan. But it does give people who aren't familiar with the 18th century some sense of the language that they used. Pinckney's Treaty, the Treaty of San Lorenzo, as I just mentioned, instrumental in opening up the Mississippi River and the larger West with the Spanish Empire. So that's a good pack, some synchronicity there. Probably not on purpose. In card collecting, I think you rarely get that, but it does work together. A Washington quote and the USS Constitution. Certainly fills us with pride as a nation. You wouldn't be upset about that. Let's keep opening. We're looking for those big chase cards in this pack. Here we go. Haven't found one yet. Alrighty. Here we have the Pope's Creek Plantation, early plantation in George Washington's life. Here's a meeting with Major General Edward Braddock. Interesting note, we don't know much about Braddock's life, instrumental in 1755 in the attempted capture of Fort Duquesne, which he'll be defeated. Braddock, we really don't have a lot of images from his own time alive, so this is an artist's speculation. It's probably pretty close, though. Aging general, for sure. All right, William Lee. George Washington's, again, enslaved aide. Important that we remember the vital role that these people played. Here's the building at Summerseat. Horatio Gates. I have this card I got in a previous video. Again, jumps out, though, off the page for sure. The Residence Act of 1790. These are good. I mean, not terribly exciting, but they do give you some nice explanation on the back as to what they represent. The Battle of Fallen Timbers, that's one for my first video, for sure. Cheating Death. This is a really strange one. I'm not sure what the reference here is. George Washington cheats death. Okay. Washington's been memorialized and mythologized so many times over the years. You know, you'll see things like this pop up. Here we have a nice image of the Washington Monument and the famous cherry trees, and of course the myth of the cherry trees. I'll take that. Maybe a little bit of a stretch, but that's fine. And again, the Double Residence Act of 1790. What's better than doubling up on that? All right, we're going to keep going. We're not going to stop this video until we find one of these ultra rare, ultra valuable cards. Washington praying, famous mythologized scene. Not to say he didn't pray, but it's an image, it's a visage you see over and over again, a theme in early American art. Washington at the Battle of the Monongahela, Braddock's defeat, as we previously mentioned. Really nice, really great image, glossy, of John Hancock. That's a good one. That's, again, his most famous portrait for sure. But really get some new life breathed into it here by the Historic Autograph Company. Again, if you're interested in purchasing any of these cards, any of these decks, looking for these chase cards, use offer code BRADY, B-R-A-D-Y, for 10% off at checkout. Ooh, here's an image of a modern person with smallpox. Terrible disease. We're not going to spend any more time on that. The Battle of White Marsh from the American Revolution. Some certainly historically inaccurate portrayals of the native peoples involved in that battle. Real problem of the 1800s was using the image, the visage of the plains, native warrior, to represent the people fighting here in the East. It just didn't happen. Here's the Naturalization Act of 1790. Another great image of a document. Here's the Neutrality Proclamation. Another great use of a document. Boy, we have a lot of documents here. The list of the enslaved peoples at Washington's plantation. really, really vital history. This is the kind of thing that not a lot of people have access to. So just to hold this and see the names, I think, are really critically important. Here's Betsy Ross being asked to sew the flag. Incredible scene, important scene. Of course, this scene never happened. Mythology goes a long way when you're trying to found a nation, but cool scene. Just realize it's not realistic. And oh, I love this. The Mules of Mount Vernon. George Washington was always a farmer first, before anything else. Whether he was president, whether he was fighting in the 7 Years' War, the French and Indian War, whether he was fighting in the Revolution, Washington's mind was always on his farms. He loved the land, he loved the science, and the production of farming. So I think that comes through really well in these cards. We'll go on to our fifth pack. Maybe we'll have our chase card here. Nice image of Washington. Nice image of Fort Necessity. Very much in my neck of the woods. A place I've been to several times and have studied frequently, and I'd encourage you to research. July 4th, 1754. Here's Washington and Patrick Henry, vital character in early American history. Here's an image of the Battle of Trenton. We're celebrating some anniversaries for that this year. The Battle of Germantown. We're celebrating some anniversaries for that this year. Here's the Copyright Act of 1790. Not so sure about this image, but okay. Nice image of the Capitol Dome, which of course wasn't erected till after the Civil War, but we have it here nevertheless. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1793, another, again, I would never pass up or diminish the importance of any card detailing the history of the enslaved peoples of George Washington's life or of early America. It's just too important to ignore. Here we see the Alien and Sedition Acts. Ooh, and look at this one. The myth of George Washington's wooden teeth. He did have some wooden teeth from time to time. He also had teeth made of human teeth, false teeth made of animal teeth as well. And another Charles Cornwallis. All right, here we go, our last packet. Let's see what we can find in here. It feels heavy, so we're going to be extra careful with this one. Okay, we have a pretty benign George Washington quote to begin with, and there is definitely a big time card behind this one. This package has two cards in it. One is, again, this number 205, this quote here. I don't know what's behind it. I'm excited to see it as we look at it. This is a historic piece of memorabilia here, and it's heavy. So here we go, the big reveal. Washington crossing the Delaware, and it's a coin. Wow, check that out. Look at how thick this card is. A commemorative coin of George Washington crossing the Delaware. Let's take a good look at that. This thing is hefty. This thing is definitely a few ounces. Wow, this is probably my favorite of all the cards I've gotten from my partnership with the Washington Chronicles yet. Remember, offer code BRADY, B-R-A-D-Y, at checkout for 10% off. This is a stunning card. Let's see what it says on the back. The legend of George Washington crossing the Delaware. There we go. Perfect. GWCC-5. Wow, 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 wow. I was just at the site of this event, the George Washington crossing the Delaware. You can actually see that on my YouTube channel. Just a real quick tour of it, but fabulous, fabulous coin. Well worth the wait. I would, continue to seriously think about chasing these variants. I mean, these aren't autographs. These aren't, well, there are some autographs, but these aren't, things that you can add to in the future. George Washington is not signing any more documents. So you're having real opportunities to own and take care of real pieces of history here from Historic Autograph Company. Just fabulous. So thanks to them for doing this. Once again, if you want to purchase this, if you want to get into this, offer code BRADY at checkout, B-R-A-D-Y. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.